Mayor Clarkson has declared the city a plague area.
The panic seems to be spreading faster than the fever.
If there's danger, I want us to move.
2 years ago, General Motors presented an 8-hour television series on the life of George Washington and the struggle of the American colonies for freedom. Tonight, we conclude this story with a new General Motors Mark of Excellence presentation. 13 American colonies won a war against Britain to become the first democratic government. Still threatened by foreign tyrannies, a constitution was proposed in 1787 to bind the 13 states into one vital nation. Some feared the document would lead to an American king. Others had faith in one man who could unify the nation and keep the dream of the American Revolution alive. George Washington.
Here are some exciting scenes from Part 1.
Patrick Henry has the floor.
You, sir, and your Federalists have tried to scare us with what will happen to Virginia if we reject your Constitution. God himself could agree to be first president, and I'd not put such hellish powers into his hands.
Virginia has ratified. We have a Constitution.
Only George Washington, as president, can make us one nation.
My God, what do they expect of me?
My Secretary of State, Mr. Jefferson, and my Secretary of Treasury, Mr. Hamilton.
I trust they still hail him as their savior after they learn of my financial plan. Make sure no one reveals the details before we present it to the Congress.
That you can't stop your own deputy from consulting with those who would profit from your funding scheme.
William Dewar is an honorable man.
Let me show you my gratitude. In a way that might please you.
What's happened? Tell me.
My husband's come back.
I'm an adulterer, Jim. A fornicator. Has the gentleman told you about that? I allowed the woman's husband to extort loans from me in exchange for his wife's favors.
If we are to hang Hamilton, let it not be for his lust, but for his greed.
I've been cleared.
I know you're still hurt that I didn't do more to try to protect you.
Welcome, Citizen Genet. And I am empowered to negotiate a new treaty establishing even closer relations between France and the United States.
Yes, but this presumptuous Frenchman has been commissioning American ships to challenge the British Navy.
The ale has indeed gone to your head, Citizen Minister, and you had best sober up before you seriously compromise all those in the government who support France.
This man must not be allowed to bring war here.
The President! Old Washington's house!
George.
please.
George, Eliza just told me there was a charitable gathering at which a toast was raised in your honor as a man of the people. Some people shouted in disagreement, refused to raise their glasses, and left the hall. It's this whole revolutionary fever. Too many have lost the respect for proper authority.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Citizen Genet, sir.
Speak of the devil.
My dear President Washington, I said, we two friends must not stand on ceremony. So, here I am to ask a private moment with you.
Citizen Genet, communications of diplomatic representatives must come to the Secretary of State.
Ah, Jefferson warned that the president would not receive me. But I said, nonsense. Such a great man would be more magnanimous.
Please, sir.
What I have to say is of highest importance, since I fear we may misunderstand each other.
We can talk in my study.
Only the French. The word Gaul must come from Gallic.
My generous friend, I am not responsible for the enthusiastic support of France by the American people, which so alarms the government, and is an expression of your citizens' honesty and integrity.
Sir.
France will emerge from the current war with great glory. Meanwhile, a word from the president displaying his own generosity of spirit towards France might quiet the people's gazettes.
It is of slight importance to me, sir, what is said about my administration. A free press happens to be a foundation of our form of government.
Mr. President.
No, I've heard you out. And as friends do not stand on ceremony, you will not mind that I return to my guest.
But of course not. Indeed, Mr. President, I feel we are now much closer to a perfect understanding. No?
Good day.
I heard him leave. Something wrong?
I've had enough of this man. Condescending and patronizing me as if the President of the United States was some country bumpkin.
So, the citizen secretary wished to see me. Have you not heard that I have vanquished your old man Washington with a lavish display of Gallic charm and logic? Huh? Rejoice with me, Jefferson. Our conflicts are at an end. Ah, yes, my dear Mr. President. What is it? Has someone died?
The President and I were about to confer on a grave threat to peace. The citizen minister's presence is not required. Good day, sir.
Citizen Secretary, my dear President. Yes. Good day.
No, thank you, sir. Mr. President, it's now a national emergency. Mayor Clarkson has declared the city a plague area and quarantined the sick.
The panic seems to be spreading faster than the fever.
Each day, more and more wagon loads of people head for the country.
There must be something more that I can do.
For the security of the government, sir, you and your family must leave here now and not come back until the worst is over.
No.
Sir, the risk is too great if you remain here.
No.
Mr. Hamilton has now been struck down.
My God. Christopher!
Sir, you can't go there.
Christopher, see that my horse is ready to leave immediately.
Yes, sir. Mr. President, you will endanger yourself.
Well, at least I will comfort Mr. Hamilton.
Let's go.
Her towels right
man. What's your name?
Richard Allen. Mr. President. I'm a Methodist preacher, sir. I pray you not ride these streets anymore. You could catch the sickness.
I understand, Reverend Allen, that you and your people have been caring for the sick when others have refused. You've gone in and out of these quarantine houses for weeks with only God to protect you. I bow to your bravery. Which room is he in?
Mr. Hamilton was afraid you'd come, sir. You are not to be admitted to the sick room.
Mrs. Hamilton, I must see him.
Sir, please. Alex, I tried to stop him.
Think of your responsibilities.
Save your strength. Don't talk.
If we lost you to this plague, how long do you think it would take for the government to explode into conflict?
You know, the rumor is that you've grown tired of doing battle with Jefferson, and you're taking the easy way out. You must fight this thing, Alex. You must. I need you, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Now go. Please.
I almost forgot, Mrs. Washington. Told me to give this to you for Alex. It's a bottle of canary wine, or cure-all. I don't think it could hurt him. And it might help.
Thank you, Mr. President. Oh, sir. I couldn't go on living if I lost him. He is dearer to me than anyone in the world.
I refuse to go without you.
Well, consider Nellie and young Wash.
I'll send the children, but I'm staying.
Martha.
Forgive me if I seem difficult. But if there's danger, I want us to face it together.
All right. We'll pack to travel in the morning.
GM Odyssey 2, Scene 1, Take 3.
Is imagination the seed of technology, the inspiration for creating the future? At General Motors, they believe it is. And it's this future they're looking to for today's ideas. In this film, we'll be taking a closer look at the dreamers, thinkers, inventors of GM, working together to develop the revolutionary technology we'll need to take us from today into the 21st century. It's far-reaching, it's fantastic. But is it science or is it fiction? Cut. Okay, let's go for another take. Take 4.
Okay, Russell, they're ready for you.
All right, you set up the close-up of the door and...
Excuse me.
Yes?
I'm Russell.
Russell, you're taking me to the ABC room.
Yeah, it's over this way. Oh, listen, what do you think of my tie?
I hate it.
Oh.
Come on, I was only kidding. I'm just going to ask you some questions. So, how long have you been with GM?
And now, back to tonight's General Motors Mark of Excellence presentation.
Lovely, Oni. Lovely. I watch you like a hawk, ma'am. Then I practice in my room till I get it right.
I'm beginning to think that you learn faster than I can teach you.
I've been wanting to say this for a long time. When Mama died of the fever and you took us in, I just want you to know how thankful I was and always will be.
My dear Oni.
Christopher?
Yes, sir.
It was found where you must have hidden it to be picked up by the slave from downriver who drives the grain wagon. This is your handprinting.
Yes, sir.
Who is this Mattie?
It's my woman, sir. She belongs on the next farm down south.
And the two of you were going to run away together?
Yes, sir. Broke on the sail away from Alexandria.
If you truly loved that woman, all you had to do was come to me. And I would have arranged somehow for the two of you to be together.
It ain't just being with Maddie, sir.
Stay with me. And I will see that you marry your Mattie. And I promise you that in my will, if not before, I will free both of you. Can we agree on this?
Yes. Yes, sir.
We'll say no more about it.
Thank you, sir.
Oni will bring you some lemonade, dear. I'll be in the garden.
Martha, I'd like to talk to you. I've decided to try and find some rational plan. Some way to free our slaves during our lifetime. With your approval, of course.
I don't know what to say. Slavery is as natural a part of our lives as breathing. George, we've always treated our people so well. Why would they even want to be free?
Why? Why did we fight a war?
Oh, surely it's not the same.
Why isn't it? Why wouldn't Christopher yearn for his freedom? Or even Oni, or Molly?
Those girls would never want to leave us, and you know it. Why are you saying all this? My earliest memories of having been cared for by slaves. It's so sudden. So I've sensed ever since the war that you've not been happy with this way of life.
Yes. Our good Virginia friends, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, have decided that they cannot change this system. They champion the rights of man, yet can't find it in their hearts to open the gates to their slave quarters. So if we do this thing, we would undoubtedly be opening ourselves up for more personal attacks. My greatest fear is that freeing our slaves while still president could incite a North-South conflict which could tear this nation apart. So, any such plan must be kept a secret until after I leave office.
I see. And what will happen to them, George? Where will they go?
We'll provide for the children, of course, until they're old enough to support themselves. And the old and the infirm, we should give a lifetime pension. The only immediate change would be that those who wish to continue working for us would be paid a salary. like any free man, Olin.
I don't pretend to understand everything you've said. But if you believe this to be right, then it's right. And that's all I need to know.
Newspapers from Maine to the Carolinas are denouncing the Neutrality Proclamation and celebrating French courage.
Why, my friend, if you feel so strongly, did you vote in favor of the proclamation?
The president desperately wants the appearance of being united, and I cannot always be the naysayer.
But such a proclamation will expand executive power beyond constitutional limits.
And prepares the way for a king.
I voted for it to keep worse things from happening.
Thank you. Well, at least the plague has subsided. Phil.
He does want peace.
I didn't mean to suggest that he did.
I really do not relish the role of the lonely champion fighting pro-British reactionaries.
I can understand that.
But for you, gentlemen, exhorting me not to abandon the field to Hamilton, I would long since have been back home in Monticello.
Forgive me if I pressed the issue too hard.
And I very much regret I must tolerate attacks on Washington.
It is regrettable, but necessary.
I know. I know. But our brilliant writer, Freneau, does sometimes go too far.
Have you seen this, sir? The latest satire in Freneau's paper? Read it. It describes you being placed for your aristocratic crimes on the guillotine.
I would rather be in my grave than in my present situation. The personal abuse I have had to take to uphold the dignity of this office. Everyone here knows how much I wanted to retire. With vast reluctance, I stayed on. Why? So that liars like Freneau could charge me with lusting to be king. No, I would rather be on my farm. Emperor of the world. My regret at having accepted a second term will be even greater if you abandon me. If I lose you now, I could lose the South, and I must maintain a geographic balance in my family. Alice, I can never really replace you. You know that. Don't you postpone your leaving. Stay till next autumn. Help get us through the difficulties of this year. Now, wait a few days before making your final decision.
Sir, I
You
really
at least owe me that.
No consideration on earth can change my mind. I cannot support policies I do not agree with just to keep peace in your family, sir. It's immoral. We'd best be on our way.
Mr. Jefferson. We have had our differences, but I still hold the highest opinion of your integrity and talents. You will always have my prayers for your happiness.
Whoa there.
I just returned from Mount Vernon, and Mr. Randolph told me about Samuel. I wish I could have been here sooner. I'm so very sorry.
He compromised with my fears by bringing me here outside the city. But he would ride into his business. On one of his trips, he was stricken. But it's Instead of comforting him myself, I sent a servant daily to see how he was. And then one day, he was no more. Now I can never forgive myself for my cowardice.
People say that I shed crocodile tears at his burial. That I cared not a pig for Samuel. Everyone thinks ill of me. Now I wish I were dead too. Because I should have been there with him. I should have been there with him.
I don't think ill of you.
What is this? I'm an officer of the government.
We know who you are, Mr. Tax Collector. You're out here from that damn government in Philadelphia. Well, you've picked the pocket of the last farmer in these parts.
Alfred, you can't go against the law.
He's an agent of that devil Hamilton, and he's going against our law, the law of survival. We work from dark to dark around here, mister. And when we harvest our wheat and rye, there ain't no way we can get it back across those mountains for cash, less than we turn it into rye whiskey first. And now you come out here demanding we pay you and Hamilton for the privilege? Well, sir, you're gonna make us pay in blood first. Take off that wig and pour on the tar. Do this. A warning to any other rich distiller of what'll happen if he pays that tax like this bastard did.
Please, for God's sake!
Alfred, you've already burned a still. A still you can rebuild. This he ain't never gonna forget.
I have a right to defend myself and to enforce the law. Come on, Rebel. Now get the hell out of here.
They killed my
Hurry! Hurry! Damn you, Neville, to hell!
Neville ain't just stealing the bread off our tables with that damnable whiskey tax. Now he's spilling the blood of decent family men. It's time to give him a dose of our justice.
Listen to me. I'm as mad as you are. But we can't take the law into our own hands.
You with us now, Eben, or against us?
With you, damn it. But we don't shoot first.
Jeremiah, you still our captain?
Hell, we're in this together to the end. Eben is right. No bloodshed lest they start it. All we want is Neville brought to justice.
We've always been concerned about safety here at GM.
So what are you doing about designing safer cars now?
Here's something we're doing today.
Crash testing?
Yes, but by computer.
It's too bad you can't prevent accidents from happening in the first place.
We're trying to with things like collision avoidance.
Collision avoidance?
It's a radar warning system.
We'll have this bikes and cars?
It might be possible down the road.
How?
Advanced electronics.
What else are you working on?
Well, there's obstacle detection.
I'm sorry. It's all right. Let's just go. Oh, my gosh. Is he all right?
What's he doing now?
I don't know.
We're also working on something called night vision.
How does it work?
By infrared.
Could you slow down a little, please? Tom! Is he all right?
He's all right. He's all right. Are you all right?
I'll feel better when we finally get there. I've got it.
What have you got?
Perfect name.
Paul?
Paula.
I thought we wanted a boy.
And now, back to tonight's General Motors Mark of Excellence presentation.
Hold your ranks, men. In line!
George, wait a minute!
Come on! Halt! We want Neville! Send him out!
He's not here. I order you men to disband.
We intend to make a citizen's arrest.
This is an illegal armed force. You're here in violation of the law.
To hell with your law!
I tell you, Neville left an hour ago. He left here on horseback.
Liar! Come on!
No! Men! He's a major in the army!
Maybe he's telling the truth. He's lying in his teeth. He's got Neville in there. Let's go get him!
No! Make ready!
Hold your ranks, You've got the captain killed! This is madness!
He's a magnificent animal. Strong forelegs make a great jumper. I'd buy him. If the price wasn't so high.
Whoa there. Whoa.
Mr. President, there's been an uprising on the Pennsylvania frontier. The farmers are in rebellion against the whiskey tax. Men have been killed.
My God.
These rebels have united to make a formidable army. They've tried to draw Virginia into the revolt. Next down the mountain chain is Kentucky. Who knows where it'll end?
Made every effort to right their grievances.
We cannot let these rebels defy us, Mr. President, or the nation will fall apart.
What's the purpose of becoming a nation if the people don't support their own laws?
Too many of our people lack faith in the central government.
Yes, but how can we build faith if the laws are not enforced? Federal commissioners must be set empowered to grant amnesty if they stop now.
But what if they refuse?
I'll raise an army against them.
I tell you, Mrs. Hamilton, if the president makes me second in command by sending our commissioners packing, the rebels will be forced to act. This could be it.
The conflict that will prove the need for a powerful government. What's the matter, dear?
I don't want you to go. You have so many enemies who would end your career, even your life. If anything should happen to you...
Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. It's you I worry about, and the new little one. This rebellion must be crushed, or the United States will be no more.
Alex, I'll miss you so.
You're more handsome now than when you were on parade at Yorktown.
Well, I see the men we lost.
I know, dear. Aren't you pleased it still fits?
Well, it could be let out a little in the frontier here, don't you think? Oh, no, it's not too bad for a man my age.
For a man any age. The children were so excited to see their grandfather go off to war.
It's not a war. It's a campaign. Years. I can't believe it. 20 years ago, we were the rebels. When we reach this Carlisle rendezvous, I'm afraid I'll find only those who support my policies. Instead of an army that represents all of our people.
What if the frontiersmen won't back down? It could mean civil war.
Well, I'm leaving Mr. Randolph waiting. Be vigilant with young Wash, hmm?
I know I still indulge him, but this time I promise to keep him at his books.
And don't worry so much about Nellie. Thank you. She's just growing up. Well. I'll be back before you know it.
Godspeed.
Welcome to your new army, Commander-in-Chief Washington.
Thank you, Governor Mifflin. Or should I say General Mifflin, commander of the Pennsylvania militia.
You will find us honed to a fine edge, sir. Ready for battle.
God willing, it won't be necessary.
Will you review the troops, sir?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it amazing, sir? Men of all walks of life, high and low, even the most rabid Jeffersonians, have rallied to support their president.
We are a nation again, Mr. Hamilton.
Oh,
What in God's name is this? A war between New Jersey and Pennsylvania?
They fired first, sir. We had to defend ourselves.
What were your orders, Colonel?
We were to patrol the flank and make sure the rebels didn't surprise us, sir.
The rebels? The rebels are 100 miles away, damn it! General Washington, how are we to know they were not rebels? Look at these uniforms.
Well, we don't have society bells to dress us up like toy soldiers, General Mifflin.
Enough of this. We're here to awe the rebels, not fight with each other. Reform your men and carry out your orders, Colonel.
Yes, sir.
Did you, sir, give this order to charge these shadows in the woods?
Sir, they did not identify themselves.
I cannot fire a governor from command of his own militia, damn it.
Sir!
Fortunately for all of us, your young men on horseback are such poor marksmen, no one was hurt. If you had had your own flank riders, General, this never would have happened.
Sir,
No more excuses, General. Get your troops back on the march. This is a serious business, Colonel Hamilton.
Of course, sir.
What can I do for you, Mr. Reddig, Mr. Finley?
Mr. President. Sir, we are the Western Pennsylvania Committee of Safety. We rode all night, sir, to get here before you broke camp.
Call in on the colors!
Yes, go on. Tell me.
We want you to call off the march of your army to the frontier counties.
To prevent any further bloodshed.
Sir, people of consequence favor submission. But some wilder elements not only oppose the excise tax, but all law and government. They never thought you'd send an army against them.
Well, they should have known better.
Sir, if an invading army raises resentment, the situation could explode all over again.
I understand your concern, gentlemen. You would have me order this superbly trained, ready-to-fight army to remain in camp while your committee of safety tries to decide what it's going to do. Come now, gentlemen. This army is here to march and fight, not vegetate.
Sir, if you would...
What, sir?
We want peace, too, but...
Oh, but, sir, I want peace also, and we shall have it when citizens respect the law.
Mr. President.
Gentlemen, only absolute submission will stop this march. Ride back to your committee of safety and tell all resistors to lay down their arms now and show respect for an army whose only motive is to consolidate and preserve the blessings of that revolution which made us a free and independent nation.
Yes, sir.
Mr. President.
Governor Lee.
Yes, sir.
You'll take command of the combined forces. Colonel Hamilton, you'll stay behind to convey my orders.
But, sir.
And carry out my policy of conciliation. Mr. Dandridge, follow with the baggage.
But, sir, you're not leaving your command.
Yes, I am. Lieutenant, form up the dragoons.
But how can the army do without its commanding general?
If there's no war, you don't need me.
Then where could she be, George?
Oh, I'm sure she just met a friend in the market, and they went down to look at the ships.
I have the most awful feeling something's happened.
Excuse me. Christopher, Mrs. Washington is worried about Oni. She's been missing for several hours. You know where she might be?
No, sir. But she's been acting rather strange lately.
Strange?
Whispering all the time. With Molly.
Would you bring Molly to us, please?
Yes, sir.
I'm sure she's all right.
She hasn't been herself. She used to come to me with all her little concerns and questions. For days now, she's kept to herself.
Has it affected her work?
She's too conscientious for that. But all I get is yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. I'm afraid for her, George.
She didn't want to come right away, sir.
Yes, Molly, do you know where Oni is?
No, sir.
I think you do.
No, sir.
Molly, you must tell us the truth. No, she may be in trouble. Need help?
No. No.
Please, Molly.
She ran away with Gerald, the Frenchman. I warned her at Mount Vernon because he tried with me first. He gonna do her wrong, I know.
Oh, George.
Molly, do you know where they went?
They're long gone now, sir.
Where?
New England. Freedom.
Freedom? He doesn't care about her freedom. He wants her. She'll be ruined and he'll abandon her.
Christopher, will you take Molly back inside, please?
Yes, sir.
I didn't want her to go, ma'am. I swear I didn't.
I know. It's all right, Molly. Why? Why would she want to flee a situation where she's treated so well?
Where she's loved.
I never thought of it that way. I don't know what I feel. Except hurt that she didn't come to me.
I know how much it means to you.
She's so young, George. What will happen to her?
Well, I'll notify the customs collectors throughout New England. She may choose not to come home. She may want to be free.
Kevin? What do you think you're doing, young man?
Nothing. I was just...
I didn't think it was long division.
It's a car.
A car? Well, I bet everyone would just love to see it, wouldn't they?
No, I don't think so.
Up front. Go on.
It's real smooth and sporty. And it's long and low like this. And the engine is back here.
And?
Does it have a name?
Well, I was kind of thinking of...
Wildcat.
Wildcat?
That's what it's called.
And you say a computer helped design it?
By using computers, what took us 8 months now takes us less than 6 weeks.
So what does that mean?
It means that we get people the kind of GM cars they want, a lot faster.
It's got the same engine exposure as a motorcycle.
Exactly. Why not showcase it?
I like it, Kevin.
So we've got to go ahead.
Let's see what the product group has to say. Then we can really get at it.
We just aren't getting optimal figures on the aerodynamics.
I can't figure it out.
Articulated spoiler?
Why not?
You're right. Might work.
Well, Kevin, do you have a name for it?
Well, I was kind of thinking of Wildcat.
Good evening from CBS News. This is NewsBreak. At the UN today, President Reagan said there could be a breakthrough in the Geneva arms talks. He called recent Soviet proposals a serious effort, but unacceptable. And Reagan said the Danilov affair hurts U.S.-Soviet relations. Israeli troops are poised along the South Lebanon border. Officials say they're ready to attack pro-Iranian guerrilla forces.
The American dream is one of hope and possibilities. We're GMAC, people who help make dreams come true. First, we made automobile financing easy. Now, home mortgages, financing for a boat, even MIC insurance to keep your dreams safe. We're the financial services people from General Motors. GMAC, official sponsor of America's dreams.
NATO and Soviet bloc delegates toasted a new agreement in Stockholm. The treaty is designed to prevent sneak attacks and war growing out of misunderstandings. Some U.S. officials think the Soviets will end up violating the pact. I'm Chris Kelly, CBS News, Washington. More news later on this CBS station.
This is CBS.
New York Telephone presents the check-in call.
Max, I'll be late. I can't find my other shoe.
If you're going to be late, call.
Oh, I never lost a shoe before. Aha! I'll be over in 10 minutes.
And with New York Telephone's low regional calling area rates, checking in is a snap.
Max, make that 20 minutes.
So call. It's later than you think.
I can't live without you. I can't smile.
Members of the jury, the accused stands before you on trial for his sins. Forgive me. I loved you all.
Liar, you only love your dreams.
Dreams are where a man invents himself. Is that a sin?
Your life will be a great and lonely one.
Father, forgive me.
You belong to no one.
I rest my case. If living with obsession is a sin, let me be guilty.
Calvin Klein's obsession for men. I'd know him in the dark.
At Bloomingdale's. Movie star turns protester at 11.
And now back to tonight's General Motors Mark of Excellence presentation.
Good morning, Mr. Hamilton.
Your voice, Miss Custis, is almost as lovely as you are.
Thank you, sir.
Forgive me for interrupting such a beautiful song sung by such a lovely young lady, but I had to see you.
I'm very sorry about Mrs. Hamilton's loss, baby.
It was a loss. Yes. My whole life seems to have been a loss. I've sacrificed everything in my life to create a strong government. But now the Jeffersonians control the House, and all my victories have turned to ashes. I've given too much for too little to a country that has shown me no gratitude.
Mr. Hamilton.
No, certainly, I don't refer to you, Mr. President, the one man I'll always place first in my regard. That's why it's so difficult to have to tell you, sir, that I've decided to leave government service forever.
Perhaps we should talk about this when Mrs. Hamilton is feeling better.
I can't go on. As Treasury Secretary, I've been accused of everything from financial chicanery to moral depravity. Yet I've so little lined my own nest that I'll have to borrow to set up a law practice in New York.
You are very important to me, Alex. Your grand design for America's future.
That too is ashes. Surely you realize what a failure I am as a public man.
No, I do not agree.
I am. I admit it. I hungered for fame, and what did I get? Scorn. I lack the politician's skill at compromise. Truth is truth and cannot be halved. I mean, why am I so disturbed by plots and slanders calmly viewed by everybody else? Am I a fool? A romantic? A Don Quixote? My own worst enemy.
Look out there. Look. You ride down any street and you will see Americans at work, doing things, earning their bread, building a life and a nation. And you, Mr. Hamilton, more than any of my ministers, are responsible for that.
I want to believe.
I can't.
I must leave. Sir, I'll always be at your service in any way but public. Our friendship is my most treasured possession.
No, this country needs John Jay for its emissary.
Very well, sir. If you feel that strongly, I will serve as your envoy extraordinary.
Good. Good. I am deeply grateful, Mr. Chief Justice. Even our embargo has not stopped the British from bullying our ships. Only your mission can prevent war.
Mr. President, the conflict with Great Britain threatens our very existence. My mission has been made far more difficult by those French sympathizers who would have us bait England.
Well, twist the lion's tail hard enough to make him wince, but not so hard as to make him pounce. Huh?
I find nothing those Jeffersonian scoundrels propose worthy of humor. If you, sir, would only sit on them for a few months, the prospects for peace would be greatly enhanced.
Mr. Jay, I want you to understand that you are the president's envoy and thus must represent all of the people, even the Jeffersonians. You will agree to nothing that will violate our existing treaties with France.
We're waiting for a ship from English Communion.
Constable, which way to the president's house?
Turn north, 3 squares, then right.
Close your eyes, Mr. President. Close your eyes.
Can I open them now?
If you dare.
This vision is so magnificent. I'm not sure my old eyes can stand it.
Be serious, Grandpapa. Do you like it?
It's magnificent. That's the only word, you know, magnificent.
It's what she'll wear to be bridesmaid at Elizabeth's wedding in Virginia.
Well, every man there, young or old, is certainly going to fall in love with you.
I hereby declare myself immune to all masculine charm, except my dashing grandpapa's.
I'm afraid, my dear Nellie, that the passions of your sex are more easier raised than calmed. Don't boast too soon of your resistance to its power.
I wasn't boasting.
The female has a good deal of inflammable matter, however dormant. And when you put that torch to it, you may burst into flame.
Burst into flame? I think I'd like that if it ever happened.
George.
But I love it. Nellie. Grandpapa, do go on. You make more sense than all the silly school matches I've ever heard.
Love. Love. Love is said to be an involuntary passion and cannot be easily controlled. So, when the
Continue.
When the fire begins to kindle and your heart grows warm, you must ask these questions to it. Who is this invader? What are its qualities? For a sensible woman like yourself can never be happy with a fool.
And I've known many a young fool.
A rider from Norfolk just brought this dispatch from Mr. J.
Norfolk? Yes, thank you. Offer him a hot drink before he goes. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
My dear Nellie, I wish for you a good husband when you want one, and deserve one. Mr. J. Now we shall see whether he has sent us a gift from Providence or a Pandora's box. How could Jay agree to let British fur traders cross our boundaries? And this severe restriction on our West Indian trade while securing nothing, absolutely nothing, to stop the impressment of American seamen. He knows how emotional that issue is.
Any accommodation with England will only enrage the Jeffersonians, and yet a failure to ratify will only infuriate the Federalists. What shall we do? As Secretary of State, I believe I have done all I can to try and placate both sides.
You have?
Yes, sir.
Well, then we must stay calm. The Congress convenes June
8th.
June 8th. Yes. We must keep this treaty a secret until we can deliver it to the Senate for their consideration.
That at least would give us time to prepare.
We'll trust in the Senate's advice and consent. They've been quick to criticize the executive. Now let them be as wise as they are loud. Pickering and Walcott. Reread Article 12 while I speak. Good evening, gentlemen. In the office, please. I have further thoughts on how to deal with all of this. What's all this secrecy? Why have you excluded Mr. Randolph from this meeting?
Because, Mr. President, that man is a traitor.
What?
You'll know what we mean after you look at this.
Now, just tell me.
A French diplomatic pouch, retrieved after it had been thrown overboard when a British frigate overhauled a French ship mid-ocean. The British ambassador placed it in our hands. This is the original and a translation. So as not to alert Randolph, I suggest you look at the contents tonight. You will find irrefutable evidence that your Secretary of State has been paid by the French Minister Fauché to supply information on our secret policy deliberations.
My God. Randolph may be the mastermind of the violent protests against the treaty and head of the conspiracy to destroy your popularity.
Traitor may be too mild a word.
Mr. Randolph, you'll excuse me, but it's late and I'm tired from a long trip. We can resume tomorrow.
Rather brief meeting with Mr. Walcott and Pickering.
Yes, I asked them to leave also.
I reread Article 12.
Tomorrow, please. I can't think any more today.
Sir, you are not well.
I'll be all right. Thank you. Thank you, my dear friend.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
I thought robotics were only being used for welding and painting.
Oh, sure. That's how we're getting parts to fit better, a better finish.
Right, but is there anything new in robotics?
Well, let's see. There's machine vision that lets GM robots inspect parts and keep a lookout for any production snags.
You mean these things can see?
Oh, in the future, they'll be able to spot just about anything. In the future, they'll be able to spot just about anything.
I have no spy service, gentlemen, to investigate Mr. Randolph. So, a confrontation is the only course. I will present to him the incriminating original documents, since he's fluent in French. How he reacts should reveal whether he is indeed guilty or innocent.
Sir, Secretary of State is here.
Yes. Let him in, please.
Please, come in, sir.
Morning, Mr. President. Mr. Pickering. Mr. Walcott.
Sir. Mr. Randolph, I'd like you to read these documents. As it will take you some time, you sit over there. When you're finished, you may make such explanations as you choose.
I assume I have been reading a captured dispatch?
Yes, you have.
Needless to say, this is a total surprise. And I am not prepared, as others in this room appear to be, for this interview. However, according to the numbered documents, 2 essential ones are missing. And on the spur of the moment, I cannot recall the exact circumstance of every meeting with Mr. Fauché. I can understand that. But 2 things I am perfectly clear about, Mr. President. I have never made an improper communication with the French minister, and I have neither received any money from the man, nor made any overture for that purpose. If I may be permitted to keep the packet a short time, I can promise a completely satisfactory explanation to everything in it which has reference to me.
The plot that Fauché mentions, can you tell us, sir, what he referred to?
Gentlemen, there are many matters that a Secretary of State discusses with ministers of other countries, not all of which stay in one's memory. I will certainly consult my notes, but I do remember telling you, Mr. President, of one ominous meeting in New York between Hammond and extreme Federalists. Perhaps you would supplement my recollection.
I don't remember any such discussion. Would you wait outside while we confer?
Yes, sir. If that is what you wish.
Gentlemen, what is your verdict?
He seemed embarrassed at one point, and I thought his smile was forced. The explanation of the bribery passage, slightly foolish. But I must admit, sir, that under such emotional duress, Mr. Randolph handled himself with composure.
Mr. Pickering?
I agree. The man has shown no guilty emotion.
I believe he came through it well. And I'm sure that once he's had time to recollect, he will clear himself completely of all of the charges.
You, sir, have treated me as a criminal even before giving me a chance to defend myself.
Sir.
To consult with others who are not my friends, to take their words to mine, who have served you so faithfully for so long. Dispatches are missing. How can I be expected to recall details from so long ago? Are you accusing me of encouraging an insurrection? By God, I will not serve in office 1 second after such treatment. You have betrayed me, Mr. President.
Quite a revealing display.
The verdict now seems obvious. Guilty as charged. The man is another Benedict Arnold.
Leave. But, sir, we owe now.
Better his hand up and cut off than he signed that vile treaty.
glad you're here. Although I wouldn't have wanted you to see me the way I've been the past few days.
I can't help wishing I had been here.
Mr. Randolph has published a vindication, a 100-page letter justifying all of his actions as Secretary of State.
Oh, my dear.
I feel naked among my enemy. At least with Arnold's treason, I was surrounded by friends, Lafayette, Hamilton, Knox. But now I'm with strangers. Narrow men with crabbed minds that let in no air or light. Edmund was my only friend left. Now he's denounced me.
You did what you thought was right.
Yes, but was it right? Or have the years, constant tension so dimmed my judgment that I've condemned an innocent man? I've hurt him. And now he's accused me of being a half-deaf old man without memory or sense, who's allowed himself to be duped by schemers into sacrificing his closest friend. At least Mr. Randolph's right about half-deaf old man. That's a stranger who looks back at me every morning in the mirror.
George, please, don't...
You know, I'm accused of having lusted for the presidency, that I've always been a Briton at heart.
Such poppycock.
And now this is another royal slap in the face. The British again are taking our seamen off of American ships. They seem determined to force us to fight them. Is that what they want? War? Do I have to buckle on my sword and go slay these dragons?
George.
But the most immediate question. What am I going to tell the Congress? What is the state of this union?
GM Odyssey 2, Scene 1, Take 3.
What does this Charlie have to do with fifth-generation computers?
Well, you could say that Charlie's the brains behind it.
What is he, a programmer?
Engine expert. The best there was at GM.
Was?
Well, he retired 5 years ago. But before he left, he taught a computer everything he knew.
Okay, Charlie. If a vehicle is stalling or cutting out, what do you think the problem would be?
Well, no, I guess I'd look for it to be a computer failure, ignition, something with the fuel.
Where do you start?
Well, first off, I'd have to know when does it stall? While driving, stopping, or just right out of the blue?
Harry. What's that?
Harry, watch it.
I'm watching it.
Harry, my mold.
Now, why didn't you cover that thing with some of that stretchy stuff before we left?
Why didn't I? Who was it who said, Rita, we're going to be late? Oh, my.
What's that? Shh, shh.
Don't you shush me.
What is that?
What's what?
That.
You mean that?
Yeah, that.
Well, it's nothing. Now we're late.
We better stop.
And they're off. Number 3, Bucks County, Bo quickly, followed by number 6, Dan Ken. Number 1, unnamed Colt, moving up on the inside.
If you're not too busy, we could use some help.
Sounds like you got yourselves a real problem here.
I don't know what happened. Just started missing all of a sudden, and then...
Is the engine all right?
Have you got a fridge?
You think you can fix it?
I think Charlie and I could have a go at it.
Charlie, a mechanic?
Engine expert.
Watch the washing machine. It's a present.
Sorry, Allie, I don't know what time we're gonna get there. No, I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm not a mechanic. Hey, listen, is little Jimmy around?
So now, Charlie, old buddy, what do we got here? Okay, Charlie, computer checks out. Now what? Unknown. Yeah, I'd say so. Well, it just happened out of the blue.
Are you sure about that? Okay, I'm doing it.
You know, Charlie, I'd have never thought that.
That was quick.
Done and fixed. Just a plug fuel filter.
Well, you're sure lucky to have that Charlie fella here.
Don't I know it?
Well, thanks again. And thank Charlie for us.
You bet. Y'all drive carefully.
Did you hear him?
I heard it.
My new
And now, back to tonight's General Motors Mark of Excellence presentation.
Thank heaven I'm not in his shoes.
What can he say? He and his administration are under such violent attack.
Well, of course, he'll try to justify the Jade Treaty.
He must attack the mass meetings that have buried in angry resolutions.
We might as well buckle on our armor, Senator. He's going to flay us alive. To try and paint the nation in the darkest possible colors, frighten the people into rallying behind him.
Fellow citizens of the Senate and House of Representatives, at no time in the short history of this nation have our public affairs afforded such cause for mutual congratulations and rejoicing. I ask you all to join me in thanking the author of all good for our numerous and extraordinary blessings. I will count only a few. General Wayne's peace with the Indians in the Northwest, and accommodations with the Creeks and Cherokees in the Southwest. The prospect, through Ambassador Pinckney in Madrid, of a Spanish treaty which could open up the Mississippi. As for the Jay Treaty, it has been presented to His Britannic Majesty with objections, which I trust will be quickly resolved. Prudence and moderation on every side can now end all international discord which has heretofore menaced our tranquility. As for domestic affairs, we have equal cause for satisfaction. While Europe is embroiled in wars, her population starving, our favored country enjoys peace. Faithful to ourselves, we have violated no obligation to others. Since the region which supported the Whiskey Rebellion now enjoys the blessings of quiet and order, I have pardoned all of the rebels convicted. As for frontier policy, I maintain as before that the trail of peace demands compassion toward the Indians. I urge that they be protected by law. Only such a course will reflect luster on our national character. Temperate discussion and mutual forbearance, where there is a difference of opinion, are so obvious and necessary for the peace, happiness, and welfare of our country that they need no recommendation of mine. If we but remember the 7 long years of blood and sacrifice that gave us our liberty, then we will surely find the will to rededicate ourselves not only to peace, but to our noblest aspirations and ideals. It is not too much to say that our country now exhibits a spectacle of national happiness never surpassed, if ever before equaled. And to cooperate with all of you in continuing this great work is the fervent wish of my heart.
find anything in that shout of hallelujah to quarrel with. The old man has amazed me again.
From hence let those be warned who mean to wed, lest mutual falsehood stain the bridal bed. For each deceiver to his cost may find, that marriage frauds too oft are paid in kind.
Thank you, Mr. President, for inviting us. These days it takes courage to be seen with the British ambassador.
Well, we're not all angry Jacobins.
I'll never forget the cheer you brought to your country with that amazing speech.
Well, it cannot compare to the cheer that you just brought to this old man's heart.
You are not old at all, sir. I hear your staff still has trouble keeping up with you.
Excuse me, Mr. President.
Oh, Mr. Walcott, good evening.
I met Mr. Hamilton on my trip to New York, and he made me promise to give you a message. As your second term will soon be over, he urges you not to commit yourself to retirement.
To quote my wife's exact words, poppycock. We have a perfectly good replacement in Mr. Adams.
You're generous, sir, to think so.
You should be ready to contend with Mr. Jefferson in this election. He's being pushed mightily forward, not only by his own faction, but the French.
Well, certainly that's the talk.
I feel that we do need a New Englander like yourself. Virginians have no corner on able men.
Well, don't tell that to Jefferson, Madison, and Monroe.
I have. They didn't speak to me for days.
It's beautiful. Look, George, isn't it beautiful?
It's one of the last pieces Josiah Wedgwood did before he died. It's called Jasperware.
Eliza, isn't it perfect? Very nice. Mrs. Liston, how dear of you to bring it to us all the way from England.
I'm so pleased that you like it.
It's exquisite.
Yes, it's beautiful, but there's something missing.
Missing?
The flowers.
Of course.
Well, George, why don't you show Mrs. Liston your garden while Eliza and I see to refreshments?
Perhaps you could pick something for the vase.
Yes, madam.
Martha, can't you see that woman would kill to be alone with the president? If I let feathers fly over every woman who's flirted with George through the years, I wouldn't have any feathers left.
I do enjoy cut flowers. Today, I don't know, they seem too beautiful to touch.
Too beautiful? Yes, I know what you mean. They have their season and then they're gone. But not really. Their seeds promise us flowers forever.
What a lovely thought. Is something wrong?
No. It's just when you said that, it reminded me of someone I knew a long time ago in Virginia. I can't tell you how much I like Mr. Liston. As the new British ambassador, he is as gracious as his predecessor was cantankerous. But how can any man not be sunny in spirit with such a beautiful young lady at his side?
Oh, dear. That's the second time you've made me blush. I hardly deserve such a compliment.
Well, forgive me, I did not intend to embarrass you.
No, I enjoy compliments. But I'm afraid I've been too bold, especially at such early acquaintance. To have come here today using that gift as a pretext, hoping that you'd be here. Yes, it's true. I'm fascinated by your greatness.
Now you made me blush.
I know you're merely a man, flawed like all others. That's exactly why I'm so intrigued by that special quality that sets a man or a woman apart.
I am, madam, in all respects, ordinary.
Ordinary is the last word in the world I'd ever use for you. And madam sounds so distant. You must call me Henrietta.
No, I don't think it's...
Do you know you were the great bogeyman of my youth? The terrible ogre who led the foolish, misbegotten colonies in treasonous rebellion against God and King.
I had no idea.
Yes, nannies used to frighten their little charges into eating porridge that wicked George Washington would get them.
I'm sure it's the same with good Jeffersonian mothers who frighten their children in the same way.
Oh, how can everyone not want to praise your name to the heavens for your determination to bring peace among all nations? I know you are hurt by the shouts of irrational men, but at such times, forgive me. I want to take you in my arms and just hold you. I don't know why I did that. Forgive me.
No. Thank you. Thank you very much.
The 21st century is just around the corner.
What does that mean?
Well, by looking ahead, we can develop technology for today.
Let's go back 2 seconds.
By looking ahead, we can develop technology for today.
I still think 4 was a better take.
So when the future comes...
Let's rewind to the top. There.
The 21st century is just around the corner.
What does that mean?
Well, by looking ahead, we can develop technology for today.
So?
So when the future comes, we'll be ready.
I think we've got it. Good night.
Good night.
And now, back to tonight's General Motors Mark of Excellence presentation.
Sir, I'm here not to talk of me, but of your extraordinary farewell address you've written. And I hope this version that I prepared for your consideration captures your true spirit.
Thank you, Alex, for all of your hard work on this. Friends and fellow citizens, where's my opening?
Oh, the opening about all the abuses in the newspapers, yet you'll pass over them in utter silence?
Oh, you mean I sounded like some frantic, beleaguered old warrior who must, as he retires, face his enemy with his sword slashing, indulging in wounded pride? God, I have you, Alex, to rid this of those unconscious egotisms. Hope to observe a virtuous nation continuing the blessings that would encourage nations throughout the world to seek a similar liberty.
You've said it many times, sir.
Have I?
Yes.
Then it's excellent.
Yes, I know.
No, I'd cut this out here. This smacks too much of affected modesty. And make this here more to the point. Since the Constitution is a rock on which union rests, no branch of government should encroach on any other. Only experience, the surest standard.
Oh, no, sir. I think it's much stronger if, Yes, it. Experience. You're absolutely right, sir.
You kept my warning against partisan politics. contention is a fire not easily put out. We must guard against it, for instead of warming, it could destroy us.
Hear, hear.
Why should the United States entangle our peace and prosperity in the toils of European ambition, rivalship, interest, humor, or caprice?
A new declaration of independence from Europe.
Yes. Yes. Now you're being too gentle with me here. So you shouldn't have kept this about my not being moved by ambition or lust for power.
But it's true.
No. And that I'd not gained but lost money in government service?
Sir, you have
No,
lost
take
money.
it out. Take it out. It's vanity. Good. You kept the final words. I anticipate with pleasing expectation a retirement in which I can enjoy in the midst of my fellow citizens the benign influence of good laws under a free government, the happy reward of our mutual cares, labors, and dangers. Thank you, Christopher. You came from Mount Vernon to be with us here in Philadelphia for the 2 terms of my presidency, and you have served us very well. And now it's time to go home. Mrs. Washington and I, in gratitude for all that you've done, have decided to leave you here in the city, thereby granting you your freedom under Pennsylvania law.
Master Washington, I thank you.
There's a wonderful man here named Richard Allen, and a group of your own people called the Free African Society, who will find employment for you as freed men and women. Christopher will give you an envelope tomorrow with money in it to help you in your new way of life.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, well, we can talk tomorrow.
Ma'am, I know. I know. I shall miss you too, Molly.
Oh, ma'am. I thank the Lord.
You'll find a new life here. And your children won't grow up as slaves now. Molly, should you ever find Only Judge, would you tell her, please, that she can remain free? That Mistress Washington would like very much to see her again someday.
Excuse me, sir.
I've been thinking. I want to go back with you. To Mount Vernon. I want to be with you to the end of your days.
difficult to believe. Your last night as president. You look sad. Lonely.
If I am, it's because I don't understand. I tried my best to serve well. I wanted to leave behind a people working together peacefully. And all we do is fight. We fight. I'm not sure we'll even survive. I failed, Martha. I failed.
Forget the newspaper slanders. Forget the angry voices. Remember only that for all of your life, in peace and war, you've done what your conscience told you must be done for the greater good of your country. It matters not what some of the people might think. It matters only that you know what you've accomplished. You brought this nation into being. You preserved its freedom. You kept it out of war. God knows, Mr. Washington, you've not failed. You've done magnificently.
President-elect John Adams.
How long has the president been waiting? I'm not sure, sir. But I hear he walked here alone.
Well, Mr. President, this is the day.
You're still officially president, sir.
Not for long. I'm nearly out. You're nearly in. See which of us will be the happiest.
The Chief Justice is ready, Mr. President.
Yeah, it seems like only yesterday. It's something I'll never forget, I'll tell you. I'll never forget it.
Remember Trenton? Marching through the cold and dark.
And the sleet wet our powder so our muskets wouldn't fire. And we were wondering what the devil we were going to do. And the general says, use your steel!
And give it all possible success and duration consistent with the ends of his providence.
Congratulations. Thank you, sir. I believe this is the most satisfying moment of my career. The torch has been passed without violence, not to a king,
Yes, Mr. President, I agree with you. After you, Mr. President.
Oh, no. I'm a private citizen now. Mr. Vice President.
George Washington, The Forging of a Nation, is one of several television specials to be shown by GM in the coming year, marking the bicentennial of the Constitution of the United States. This program has been a General Motors Mark of Excellence presentation.
To learn more about George Washington, the Library of Congress suggests these books. George Washington, Man and Monument by Marcus Cunliffe, and George Washington, Citizen Soldier by Charles Cecil Wall. These and many other interesting books are waiting for you in your local library and bookstore. Visit them. They'll be happy to help you read more about it.
Plan a visit to historic Mount Vernon, the home of George Washington, located just outside Washington, D.C. For publications about George Washington, write to the Mount Vernon Ladies Association, Mount Vernon, Virginia, 22121.
Share the spirit of Premiere Week on CBS. Tomorrow, mystery, suspense, romance, danger. A brand new series full of surprises. The Wizard. Then
Women do not belong in the fire department.
based on a true story starring Nancy McKeon, Firefighter. Wednesday, it takes a mother's courage.
Sweet cocaine.
To attempt the largest drug bust since the French Connection. Sophia Loren and Billy D. Williams star in Courage, a special 3-hour CBS movie. Thursday, it's the season premiere of
Guess Who?
As Rick and AJ get in over their heads fighting their latest competition.
Oh.
Then on Knots Landing,
Where are you?
Karen's disappearance is tearing her family apart.
Not if you're gonna say it's Mom's fault she was kidnapped or killed. Where are you?
And when every decision counts,
Do it now!
you'll want to know someone like her.
Yes.
Kay O'Brien. Friday,
They think we're traitors.
it's a game of Russian roulette on Scarecrow and Mrs. King. Then get ready for the return of Patrick Duffy in the explosive 2-hour premiere of Dallas.
What the hell's going on there?
Saturday, life gets hot when Michael Nouri takes you downtown. Crime will never be the same. And he's got a new style and a new angle.